Tulsi Gabbard is now Donald Trump's selection for Director of National Intelligence. This is the same Tulsi Gabbard who was once a Democrat, then went independent, then went full MAGA, and has a very long history of parroting Kremlin talking points. Her own ex-staffers are now going public, and they are saying, yes, she loved the Russian propaganda. According to her former aides, she was a devout consumer of RT, the Russian state-controlled propaganda network. Even though her staffers would tell her this is not reliable, she would keep reading it, watching it, sharing it, and I would argue internalizing the narrative from RT. Now, it's really important to understand that RT is not just a biased media outlet with a perspective. It's a Kremlin mouthpiece designed to spread disinformation and undermine trust in Western institutions. When people who we know who are in our orbit got hired by RT, they would love to say, nobody ever tells me what to say. I say what I want on RT. Well, it's not about them telling you what to say. It's you being hired because what they know you'll say is useful to them, either because it is casting doubt on the robustness of American institutions, because it questions American democracy, whatever the reason. RT is picking you because they know you'll say what they want you to say. And it's a Kremlin mouthpiece designed to spread disinformation and undermine trust in Western institutions. It's well documented. It's part of government analyses, independent media analyses, etc. Now we go to Tulsi's shift in views. In 2014, Tulsi called for military aid to Ukraine and for tougher sanctions on Russia after the annexation of Crimea. 3 years later, by 2017, she was writing memos to her campaign staff, blaming the United States and NATO for provoking Russia. She lamented America's hostility towards Vladimir Putin. She floated the bizarre idea that the United States might try to overthrow the Russian government. This is not a natural evolution of thought where you go, yeah, I used to think the top marginal tax rate should be 39, but I actually realize it should be 50, right? I've had to No. This is like a complete and total 180. And it seems like a regurgitation of Kremlin propaganda, almost word for word. This is not exclusively about Tulsi Gabbard consuming bad information. It's more about her views mirroring the disinformation themes that Russia has been pushing for years. NATO is really the aggressor. Everything we as Russia do is just self-defense. The U.S. is provoking Russia merely by meeting its obligations of shared defense to other countries. Putin's actions, maybe they're not awesome, but they're justified if nothing else. Whether it's naivete on her behalf, straight up ideological alignment, just political opportunism to get herself nominated by Trump for something which worked, it's all amplifying these Kremlin narratives. Now, I want to address one more aspect of Tulsi that has become sort of controversial. There's this idea floating around. Is Tulsi Gabbard a Russian agent or a Russian asset? I don't know anyone who said she's a Russian agent. This is where the concept of useful idiot comes into play. It's not an insult. It's a term used in intelligence circles, and it means someone who is unwittingly furthering the agenda of another country because they're either misinformed or because they're actually ideologically aligned with that agenda. And that seems to fit Tulsi Gabbard perfectly. I don't know of anyone who has said she works for Russia. If you know of anyone who made that claim, let me know. Being an asset to Russia doesn't even require intent. Whether she has it or not, I don't know. It just requires actions that align with Russian interests. And whether it's her rhetoric on NATO, which we talked about, her criticism of U.S. support of Ukraine, her role just generating divisive narratives and perpetuating them, she is serving those interests. And so at the end of the rainbow, we get to, she's able to believe whatever she wants, no problem. We have free speech, we have freedom of thought. She can say and believe whatever she wants. But should someone who believes and says the things she believes and says be Director of National Intelligence, a role that requires deep understanding of disinformation and global threats? It's so cliche. It's like putting the fox in charge of the hen house. It's reckless at best, and extraordinarily dangerous at worst. And a reminder that Trump just cares about loyalty. Tulsi did a 180, kisses him on stage. He's so great. President Trump this, President Trump that. You get a position not only are you unqualified for, but you potentially are an actual national security risk in this position. I hope she doesn't get confirmed. I'm hearing that she probably will.
Not all men's underwear is the same. With traditional underwear, the sticking and the rubbing are something many of us know all too well. But our sponsor, Sheath Underwear, puts it to an end once and for all. Sheath underwear is ultralight and breathable. You can barely tell it's there. But importantly, Sheath is uniquely designed with 2 pouches in the front that separate everything out, giving you an extra confidence boost throughout the day. Air can flow in between, keeping things dry and comfortable all day. No more sweating and sticking. Sheath underwear is the type of thing that's hard to fully appreciate until you've tried it. Try a pair yourself and you'll finally understand the level of comfort and morale that you've been missing out on. They come in a bunch of different designs. They have something for everybody. The quality is amazing, super long lasting, unlike the underwear you currently use, which you might have to replace every 6 months. Sheath is giving my audience 20% off with the code PACMAN. Go to sheathunderwear.com/PACMAN. The link is down below.